Good evening and welcome. Tonight we will be going over the history and geography of Arauca in Colombia. Arauca, as you can see, is just in this little corner of Colombia. Not a terribly large province here, but it is set aside because it is part of the Llanos, which is the plains region of Colombia and Venezuela. But in this case, we're talking about Colombia. Pretty much almost the entirety of this area is the Llanos. And we talked about Apure, like 2 weeks ago now, and how it was a dry wetland. Arauca is almost the same, but I think it's more wet than dry. But that doesn't stop it from being a big cattle ranching and farming area. The part that isn't part of the Llanos is right here, which is part of the Cordillera Oriental. You can't see so much on this map, but the Andes Mountains comes up through here and forks into 3 different mountain ranges. And the farthest right one goes right through here. That is the Cordillera Oriental. And there is a big national park that's technically within Arauca, but most of it isn't. So, I'm not going to touch on that too much. But the capital city you can see here is Arauca. Pretty sure it's an indigenous word, and there is a big bird in this area that's called the Arauca, but I'm pretty sure it all comes from the same name. Like, I don't think this was named after a bird. I think the bird was named after the word, right? That was an indigenous word, but I forget what it was. I didn't write it down. But that's an important part of this region as well. There's always been quite a large indigenous population here. And while today, technically, it's not a large population, but compared to the rest of the areas of Colombia, it's a pretty decent-sized population of indigenous cultures. So as we seg into history, there are many, many different indigenous peoples that lived here, living off of the plains and the wetlands and the forests. And the first Europeans that came here arrived in 1539. And guess what? They were not Spanish. Can you believe that? No, not even Portuguese. Can you guess where they were from? They were from Germany. They were German conquistadors. I had no idea such a thing existed. And I thought, well, surely they were, explorers or, any other word to describe them. But every story that I read about them described them as conquistadors, even though that's a Spanish word. So that's a thing, German conquistadors. They were here looking for El Dorado, and of course they didn't find it, so they just moved along. Real development didn't begin in this area until 1659, when the Spanish did come and set up little Catholic missions here for the peoples that lived there. Later, Jesuits would move in as well, try to convert, and make what they could off of the land here. The only other, actually there's two other interesting historical things. So I'm sure there's quite a bit. Colombia gained independence, formed some governments that failed, there were conflicts, but if we're talking about just this region, there were some tense border conflicts with Venezuela between 1899 and 1916. Venezuela popped over the border a couple times to try to stake their claim. But they eventually worked themselves out, right? There's also a lot of guerrilla fighting in this area during the Colombian Civil War, which was another very dark time in Colombia's history. Very active in this area because it wasn't that regulated, and I bet they could easily cross the border there too. But things really changed in this area in the 1980s when in the river here they discovered oil. So the city of Arauca is a big oil processing city, which of course brought in a lot of wealth, right? And Arauca has been thriving in a way that it never really has before because of that industry. But there's also a lot of ecotourism in this area too. As I learned looking around on Google Earth, all kinds of little, I guess, camps, resorts, I'm not sure what you would call them. There was a word in Spanish, but I forgot it. We'll see it on Google Earth. That described these little outposts out in the wilderness where you can explore everything in an eco-friendly way, which is really neat. I didn't expect when I was researching to find much on this area, and I didn't, but it was neat to see tourist websites for Arauca, and it was all come and explore the wilderness, right? Come see how indigenous people live, things like that. Lots of neat little tourist websites for Arauca. I did not expect that after reading the history and seeing that it was so minimal. But let's head over to the tablet and let's explore. There are a lot of little sites that I found in Arauca. I want to show you some of them. Let's get into it. Alright, here is Arauca. I'm going to start by zooming out so you can see exactly where we are in the world. You can see there's South America. There's Colombia, just below Panama here. And Arauca is right over here in this corner. You can also see the mountain ranges here, where they split into three. Let me zoom out more, get all these pesky cities out of the way. Okay, I'm doing my best. It goes 1, 2, 3. Can you see? The third one just clips in right there. Anyway. So I'm going to show you the slideshow for this department. Because I think it's neat. Get the little town here. A lovely park. A really cool statue here. I wonder if that's Bolivar or some, maybe a Colombian hero. A sweet capybara. It looks albino, but I wonder if it's just the light hitting it. I don't know. Pretty church there in the center of the town. Looks like the airport or some kind of busy center there. Little park. Yeah, there's from above. There's that cool statue again. But yeah. Ooh, and I like this of the cowboy there. The llanero. This is a statue of the Arauca bird, which you can tell because its wingspan is apparently huge, and it has this little dopey feather sticking out of its head. Probably should have pulled up a picture of one to show you, but that's pretty much what they look like. So let's check out the national park here, even though as you can see it's mostly over here. You can kind of see what this little corner looks like. It is technically a branch of the Andes, so it's quite deserty, quite dry, quite mountainous, rocky over here. It's a pretty church. I like that. But yeah, again, this is not really the area we're talking about. I'm just showing you what that corner of Arauca looks like. Most of Arauca looks like this, which looks very wet, doesn't it? But very green. So it's all ranches and farmland and things like that. Finca, that's the word. Let's see this one. Finca Los Tres Potrillos. Oh, there's momos. That's sweet. Oh my goodness, how sweet. Oh, more moose. So many moose. Oh my goodness. Well, this isn't a really good example, but I did like seeing the sweet moose. Let's find another one. Maybe escuela was the word. But I think, pretty sure it's finca. Maybe it was escuela. No, it's finca. Because here's one. Que eu progreso. Look at that. Oh, maybe it is the other one. I think finca is farm. Okay, maybe it's... I'm confusing myself now, but oh my goodness, he's got leaf blower or something. Oh my goodness. He's gonna grow as tall as that tree someday. Oh, on the horse. Okay, so maybe it was escuela. Gabriel Garcia Marquez, escuela. No, escuela is school, isn't it? Yeah, escuela is school. Pretty sure it was finca. Oh, well, we'll find some more. If we go, make sure I'm not lost. Over here, I found some neat ones. A lot of this is indigenous land, as you can see here. This is an interesting monument in this town, Fortul, commemorating the people who moved in here. Let me find a good picture of the statue. Look at that. So you've got the man there with his pregnant wife, child. They got the burro, little dog. They're bringing everything that they own. I mean, it's a little problematic, but also like a good statue, good solid statue. I wonder why it's trying to show me so many schools. I don't know. Let's look at Mirador La Cruz. Very pretty. There's the La Cruz, the cross there. Looks like it's a little hiking area you can climb up to and see the landscape. Finca, yeah, see, here they are. This was a good one, I remember. Finca La Floresta. I want to show you. Little places like this, little ecotourism lodges, I assume. Little tree house, that's fun. And you can play some tejo. Tejo is the national sport of Colombia, where you throw at the target, and probably not this one, but the targets are usually full of gunpowder. So if you hit it, it goes boom. A little picnic area there. It's pretty neat. Oh, very relaxing. Play some pool. Of course, the big, bright, beautiful, colorful buildings, very characteristic of rural Colombia. And you can enjoy the beautiful nature, and I guess it's there's a baby pool. That's so cute. Enjoy the beautiful nature. Go target shooting. Sit around the campfire. Yeah. I wonder if finca, let me know. Oh, sweet keys. Let me know if finca means ranch or something. I assumed it meant like some kind of tourist area, looking around here and seeing so many places labeled finca. And then there's this mirador over here, Mirador Extremo, which I think is related to this lodge here, because it's a lot of tourists in the picture here. So I wonder if there's a trail or maybe a zip line of some kind that goes from the little lodge to this area. You see, something like this that'll take you up like a little ski lift up to the top of this mountain. So yes, lots to explore that they built for people to see this beautiful wilderness. I love this little fountain here. A little natural fountain. A little natural looking bridge too. Well, not natural, but I wonder if this is like a ride. I don't know. I don't like those kind of rides where they just shoot you up into the air. Not a fan of those at all. But yeah. So this was a good example of ecotourism in this area. A place where you can enjoy nature without worrying about damaging it. Lastly, I want to take you over to the city. But I have to make sure I'm not lost. There we go. Arauca. So you can see it's right here on the border, the Rio Aragua, separating it from Venezuela. You can see there's a Venezuelan town over here. Is that a bridge? It looks like there would be a perfect little bridge right there, but there's not. I'm sure there's ways. I'm sure there's a ferry or something. But, let's see. I have to remember the things I wanted to show you here, because I found so many fun little slideshows here. Was it this one? No, but we can look at it. It's a football pitch. You can play whatever looks like part of a basketball hoop there. Fun little park, play some football, play on the playground. Maybe it was this one. It wasn't that either. There are lots of little parks here. Little church. Get some arepas. Yum, 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 yum. But yeah, I found some neat stuff over here. The Las Playitas. Now I'm pretty sure most of the pictures in this slideshow aren't taken here. But there was a good little mix. Like you can see the boat races there. Everyone's come out double rainbow all the way across the sky. So intense. And this guy's in a lot of pictures here. With his friends and family, I assume. He has a great smile. But there's the bird. The back end of the bird. That's what I really wanted to show you. Look, they've all got Canadian flags. What's happening? Are they having their own little Olympics? Like, why are they representing Canada of all places? But yeah. Then I found a little slideshow. Down here somewhere. There's another finca. We'll check that out in a minute if I don't lose it. The stadium. Let's see. There's the airport. Watch me not be able to find it. No, it wasn't by the river. It was somewhere down here. Here it was. I saw this and went, Las Babas. What is Las Babas? And I'm pretty sure Las Babas are danger friends. Las Babas. I'm pretty sure that's what that means. But there's a little pond here with little crocodiles in it. Got a bike lane. Keep you safe from the Babas. And a swimming pool so you can still enjoy the water without getting chomped. Ugh, looking good. The Babas. Be careful of the Babas. Oh, she's got her princess bike. I love it. The Babas. Las Babas. Las Babas. Be careful of Las Babas. But not the capybaras. You don't have to worry about capybaras. And a fun bird. You see its little crest there. It's neat. We are just north of the Amazon. We're technically not in the Amazon. Let me show you. So, there's the Babas, right? And the Amazon's down here. Oh my goodness. Well, you're not going to notice this, but the fire alarm just went off in my building. And it went on for way too long. So in that time, I looked up that finca means estate or a rural vacation home. And I looked up the Arauca bird, which is known as the horned screamer. And they're very, like, there's the little thing on top. And they're just weird, freakish little guys. He's saying, ah. So yeah, that's the bird. I looked around at these other fincas, and a lot of them didn't have slideshows, but I found one, and now it's gone. This one, Via Laura, had some pictures. It's really pretty. And there's some neat birds here too. So I guess I'll just end the video on this. I tried looking for other neat things, and I found the park I was going to show you, but looking back, it's not as exciting. Look, they grow corn here. Maybe maize. But I'll just end the video here. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this style of content, please consider subscribing. Let's look at this ranch. Morty Sarah Ranch. Oh, big caterpillar. Wow, big caterpillar. Next in my series, we're going to be going to Chile, just much farther south down there in the Andes. And we're going to be going to a really interesting part of Chile. Sorry for all the tractors. We're going to go to a region where the Mapuche lived. And the Mapuches are an indigenous group that managed to successfully fight off the Incas and the Spanish. Really, really interesting history in that region, so be sure to subscribe so you won't miss out. I hope that you found this video to be relaxing and educational. I hope that you have a